I could do multiple things at once.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything.
It's like paralysing almost.
Honestly, I felt, I don't know if you've ever been in this place, but you feel as if your head has got so much pressure in it that you don't know what's going to happen. But I've blocked a few numbers.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I get it. People are frustrated. People are angry. And because this has come as a complete shock.
How heavy did all of that feel?
Are you even asking me that question? I think we know the answer. We're pretty much up there towards that 10.
Okay.
Definitely knocked my confidence. And I said, this is still really fresh.
Yeah.
So you probably got me at a good time and a bad time, because I probably haven't had it long enough to reflect on it properly.
All right, welcome to Business Blocks.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad to say this week and not last week with my bad flu.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's still a little bit coffee though.
Yeah, because it's got a bit of man voice, but it's getting there.
So Lorraine Ali from Placer Recruitment and from UpFix and from The Victory.
Not from UpFix.
Not from UpFix.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Okay. All right, cool. So I guess before we get into that, what kind of would you say is the reason that you got into doing this in the first place, like trying to start businesses? And
oh goodness, I don't know even where to go with this, Olivia. So I've been employed for most of my life, and the majority of it in financial services, but I've always had something on the sideline.
Uh-huh.
So at the minute I run Placer Recruitment, and there's an event staffing arm in that. Myself and my husband have got a couple of hospitality projects on the go, the Victory Inn and a catering and outside catering company. UpFix we have had, and this is probably, we'll talk a little bit about that. I have a brand new business starting on Monday, which is it's called Fixie, and it's appliance repair world as well. So,
nice. Okay.
but yeah, so I don't know. I think my head's a bit like a bit like a ping pong machine. That's what I find my head like. I'm always bouncing ideas. There's always something going on in my brain. I wake up every morning thinking, oh, I just thought of that. Why could I do that? And I have to try and reel myself back in again.
What would you say? What was the last thing you had to rein yourself in from doing? Do you think when that happened, that ping pong thing?
Well, I'm about to rein it in today. I'm about to rein it in today. Yes, okay. I've been. I get asked to get involved with a lot of things. Yeah, and one of them is today. So we are. Going to meet someone after this to let him know that I'm not going to get involved in another business idea.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what's your process there? So why, like, from, I guess, sort of conception of idea to reining it into kind of, what's your process there?
There's only one of me. There's only one of you. There's only one of me. I'll take you back probably to this time last year. So my dad got poorly.
Okay.
I was in BNI in Brighton, vice president, running UpFix, which was turned into a bit of a monster of a base, 30 odd employees. Yeah. South coverage, thousands of jobs every month. My dad got poorly. He had dementia, but he ended up getting a lot weaker, and my mum was, needing me as well. So I was back and forward to Ireland. Something was going to give at some point. Unfortunately, my dad passed away in December, and I had a little bit of a mental wobble, I think, as well.
Sorry to hear that.
And had to reel life back in again. Okay. UpFix continued. Placer Recruitment was still going. The event staff was busy coming into the summertime. And, I had to sit back and think, my mum still needed me and still wanted me. She was very lonely, losing her partner of 65 odd years or whatever it was. Of course. So I have had to now start to really look at myself and say, what am I going to say no to? Okay. It's probably leads me on to the coaching, that we're going to do as such. The chat we're going to have today. It's about, as I said, my head is like a ping pong machine. I'm constantly spinning plates. Uh-huh. And I think the UpFix has ceased trade, as you know, a few weeks ago. And that was a massive shock. It was nothing that the business was doing wrong. It was something that else had happened, which I'm not going to go into during this. But it led me to have to make 30 odd people redundant.
What was the impact of that?
Olivia, I didn't know if I was going to get through day to day.
Really?
You know, honestly, I went back to that mental breakdown again, and I felt my head shrinking, and I was like, whoa, this is not good.
Yeah.
You know, I was the last contact for those employees, even though it wasn't my business as such. I just ran out. You know, I got battered. And as I said, there was days I thought, am I going to get through today?
What and when you say like am I going to get through today, like what specifically is the like thought that comes into that? Is it about the fact that these you know you don't know what they're going to do next? Like what's going on there? Is it?
It's that dark place that you know, am I going into some form of serious depression? Do I need medical help? You know, honestly, I couldn't, you know, I can turn my hand to anything. You know, and you know, with ADHD in me has, you know, I could do multiple things at once. I couldn't do anything.
It's like paralysing almost.
Honestly, I felt, I don't know if you've ever been in this place, but you feel as if your head has got so much pressure in it that you don't know what's going to happen. You know, luckily I've got a good network of people around me that really supported me through this, and here we are today with a new business launch on Monday.
Do you think it was a kind of like almost a form of neural hijacking when that happens? Like you just sort of like it's hard sometimes to think, isn't it? It's like emotion that's going.
Olivia, honestly, the only way I can describe it is like you feel as if your brain's being squashed and it can't function. You know, my business partner and my recruitment business, James, ended up coming around sitting with me all day. You know.
Is that what helped get through then? So you said you had a good network around you.
Yeah, absolutely. So. You know, so it was a very difficult time, especially when you're getting all of the abuse from all of these people who are extremely angry and frustrated.
Sure.
And you're in the same boat.
Right.
You know.
So you're managing your own frustrations whilst also taking on everyone else's.
I think that's probably the darkest time in my whole career.
Wow. Okay.
And it's still really fresh.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not even talking that long ago. How long ago was it?
1st of October.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, now that you're, I suppose, like, essentially through the other side of that, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned from that experience?
I'm still learning. For me, I think it's just I want to be master of my own destiny.
Okay.
You know, not relying on a load of investors and funding and other people who've got all this influence in a company that you ran, and things then change on that outside, you know, periphery as such, and you're left to deal with it.
Right, I see. So it's that lack of maybe control over.
I'm going to be I'm now the master of my own destiny. I will never get involved in something like that again.
Right, I see. And to what degree? Like, I suppose, like, my question is like, what made you kind of seek outside investment in the first place and not do it? What are you doing now then?
So that company was set up with my husband and a business partner, and I ran the company for them as such.
Oh, I see. Right, fair enough. Okay.
So that was a bit different. So now I'm just, as I said, I'm me now. For me and a business partner, there's just us. There's nothing else needed to run businesses, our businesses. You have to excuse me. I still have to cough at
no, it's fine. It's fine.
But I think for me now, the thing that I'm struggling with right now, I've got new business starting on Monday, Fixia Plant Repairs. That's not a plug, really. I've got placer recruitment and event staffing. And I have my husband, I said myself, got a couple of hospitality business. I've still got property that I need to get finished out in Egypt.
So in Egypt?
In Egypt, no, don't ask Olivia. That's another podcast for a different day. I've got, as I said, I've still got this ping pong mentality in my head, and I would start something, not finish it, onto this, onto that. I've still got UpFix, still dealing with the trauma from that, and still dealing with the aftermath of suppliers, customers, and staff from that. It's just getting focused. I need to get myself focused again on me, my businesses, and be able to move on from it.
Like I can understand that there's probably things that you physically have to deal with in terms of like UpFix, and you've mentioned trauma. Like, what do you feel? Like, how would you say, like, the weight? How would you describe the weight on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of like all of this stuff that you've got going on? How heavy does all of that feel?
Are you even asking me that question? I think we know the answer. We're pretty much up there towards that 10.
Okay, so I guess what I want to know is like, what else do you think you feel like you could let go of that would like make some of that weight disappear?
Yeah, so I have started this week. So I was asked to stay on in UpFix to help close this business down.
Right, I see.
There's a lot of complications, which I said we're not going to go into today because I can't.
Yeah.
But I, in theory, made myself redundant.
Right, I see.
On Tuesday, because I needed to get that mental headspace.
Okay.
But it's paralyzed me in a way.
Yeah.
I'm one of these people. I get up every morning and I'm on the go. Fresh, bright. Energetic. And this is paralyzed. I'm sitting on the sofa, just sitting there. I don't watch TV as a rule.
This is now, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's only this week that I've done that. But now it's taken me a couple of days just to get back to thinking, right, I can do this again.
How? Because I mean, I can't imagine what that would feel like to go through that. But I guess I'm curious to know if there's a way that it can be reframed. So, like, for example, obviously you've had to make all these like mass redundancies and firings or however that played out. But what's your feeling there? Is it? If you were to describe the feeling that you have, is it guilt? Like what feelings is in there?
Well, I have feelings. I'm going to give you a little bit of context to this. So, and the UpFix was a business that was expanding, and had a massive growth plan, and everything was done to the book. There was I still needed a bit of funding, but it was only for the next couple of months, and then it was on its own. So I felt that I was led down, some sort of garden path.
Right.
With this funding's coming, Lorraine's on its way, and I've been relaying this same story to these employees and some suppliers.
Okay.
I'm a really transparent person. What you see with me is what you get. I don't run around town. If I owed somebody a pound, I'd make sure they got it back. I'd never be in that situation. For me, I felt that my integrity was questioned.
Okay.
Okay. And I think a lot of the employees thought that I was involved in this.
Sure.
I knew that there was no money coming into the business.
Okay.
For me, that hurt me the most.
Okay.
I felt as if, so a lot of that really.
So it's an integrity thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So if that is like what's going on, like how could we look at reframing then? So like rather than, looking at that as like, oh, my integrity has been brought into question, how could you look at it a different way?
I've tried to, I don't know, Olivia, I've tried to think, do I put out a statement to everybody and say, this is me? And then I thought, why should I have to do that?
Okay. And what would help? Okay, maybe what would help for you? Because that's like obviously a specific action that you would be doing. But what would help maybe for you to reframe it in your own mind? Maybe.
Yeah. So as I said, so I've taken some steps this week to walk away from that business now, and I have done. I think I did nothing wrong in this.
Yeah.
And now I'm having to try and accept that myself.
So that's the reframe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reframe is that actually this isn't your fault.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so how when you look at it in that way, like how easy does it feel to like look at it in that way?
I think if you knew the amount of abuse that I've taken,
sure.
It's been pretty extreme. And I understand why.
Yeah, sure.
And I've taken the last couple of days just to really focus on me. And even just sitting on that sofa for a whole afternoon watching rubbish television has just made me sort of a bit more relaxed now.
Okay.
I don't feel that pressure is, still there as much.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just really just taking some time because I'm an honest, trustworthy person. With a great reputation, around this town and around this area, especially. And for me, I felt all of that was being questioned.
Yeah.
So it was about getting back out there, getting back out to network and things, actually going to meet some friends and doing those things again.
So if that, I don't even know if this conversation would come up, and maybe it wouldn't, but is that how you would say, is that how, what happened there? And then, like, it's hard to know if this conversation would even take place, but I suppose I'm interested to know how you would articulate it if someone said, like, what happened?
I've just told, it's what I've said to you, Olivia. The business still needed funding. Unfortunately, circumstances outside of my control has led to the point where there is no money. It's not just UpFix. There was other companies in that group as well.
So the part that I liked about there was it out of my control.
Yeah.
Rather than like how the space that we were in before. Okay, so tell me what's next then. So like now with this in the kind of rear view, where are we going now? It's
in the rear view, but it's still in sight.
We can still see it.
Yeah, we can still see it. I need to sort of regather my focus, Olivia.
Yeah.
Because right now my focus is a bit all over the place.
Sure, yeah.
And normally, even though I juggle a million things, if you can imagine running several businesses and having a life, a mother still needs you. And once I've got obviously 2 fur babies that need a lot of attention, and I still want to have a life as well. It's a complicated head space to be in. That's why I sort of call it my ping pong. It's my ping pong brain.
What tends to get you focused? Like when you feel focused, what tends to be the way that you do that? What helps you?
I've never not been.
Okay.
So this is a big first for me. I
see. Okay. So. Okay.
I think as well that, I've never experienced low moods, down, feeling down. I've never experienced that till earlier this year. My dad passed away, things like that. Yeah. And now just recently.
Okay.
So this is a whole new world for me that I'm trying to navigate through.
So what could help you get focused, do you think?
I think I need to start spending a little bit of time for me. Sorry, I'm just going to blow my nose again. Getting myself in a healthier state, probably mentally, physically. I'm taking steps. I've signed up and doing some training now.
Yeah.
But I just need to learn I just need to let go of the UpFix disaster. That's what it was in the end.
Sure.
And get myself in a place where I can throw all those plates in the air, spin them well, and move on.
Okay, and then so it sounds like you're putting some nice kind of things in place there. Where do you want to go? Do you think? Like, what's the next chapter about for you?
Something I have really reevaluated, looked at my life. What do I want? What do I need?
Yeah.
I had great plans to retire in a couple of years' time. That's all changed. Yeah. I just want to build a couple of nice businesses that keep me occupied, but not to the same level that I was with UpFix, because I was drained.
I remember seeing you always seemed like it was just constant for you.
It was constant. And as I said, we're starting Fixie with a couple of other local businesses, Carter's and Hills, 2 well-established business with great, business brains as well.
Okay.
And just to share that load without it all being dumped on me, just to take this business and run with it.
And how will you carry forward some of your learnings from before into this?
Oh God, that's a question. How weird is this? Because I actually thought about this the other day. UpFix made a million mistakes at the start. Any new business does, and especially with the way that was scaling really quickly.
Yeah.
It's running a business lean, not having all of those pressures of having millions of staff to pay. Well, not millions, but all that staff to pay. That's pressure. At one point between Corsa and myself, we had 55 employees.
Right.
Making sure you had the wages for 55 employees at the end of every month on the same day, 3 different businesses. It was like,
I mean, that sounds like a lot. If you're doing everything.
I don't think I'd ever scale. I have no intention of scaling Fixie to that level. We have talked about it. We do it naturally, slowly, sensibly.
Yeah, okay.
And I've learned a lot, Olivia.
Yeah.
Getting the right system from the offset, not trying to constantly fix problems.
Yeah. I guess, what would you say is important to you about this new company?
It's not that, can you do it? That's not the question. For me, I'd built something really quite good, and for it to be taken away from no fault of mine.
Yeah.
Definitely knocked my confidence. And I said, this is still really fresh.
Yeah.
So you probably got me at a good time and a bad time, because I probably haven't had it long enough to reflect on it properly.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's what was the question again, Olivia?
So, I mean, go where you're going with it. That's more important than my question. You said you haven't had a chance to reflect on it.
As I said, it's still fresh. I'm still getting abusive texts every day from staff.
Okay.
And I don't think they've really thought it through either, that I'm in the same boat as them.
Yeah. So what could you do maybe to help make that transition easier? Like you say, you're still getting
Well, I have done quite a lot, and I said it's only this week that I've said, right, I can't continue to deal with this.
Sure.
This isn't my problem, and as much as I am such a supportive person, there is just one of me. Yeah. And I cannot undertake the world's problems on my own as well.
In the same way that you were doing when you were actually at the company, right?
Yeah. So I've responded, just saying this is the last time I'm going to respond to you. This is the steps you should be taking.
Okay. So
I've blocked a few numbers.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But people are frustrated, people are angry, and because this has come as a complete shock, people are just reacting.
Yeah.
We're 3 weeks into this. That's it.
Yeah, and it's like you say. I think you're almost like the poster person for this whole thing, aren't you?
I'm the punch bag.
Yeah.
They've got nobody else to verbalize their anger, their frustrations, their thoughts to, apart from to me. But they haven't sat back and thought, but this is just somebody else in the same boat as us.
Yeah. I suppose I'm interested to know here, because clearly you've done some things, you've sent some kind of final text, and you've also blocked some people. What else do you think is needed to help you close the book on this?
It's nothing that I can do.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on these, the outside influences, as we call them, that to do their part and get this business shut down.
Okay, fair enough.
So I can't do it, and I've accepted that now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've moved on from that part of it.
Cool.
For me, it's just getting my focus, probably a bit of confidence back.
Yeah. Well, let's go into that then. So, talk to me about how the confidence piece shows up in this next chapter that you're starting. Where's it showing up for you?
You've known me for a little while. I'm a relatively confident person.
I would say so.
I think it's just about get that mental headspace a little bit cleared so that I can actually move on and build this business with Fixie and Carters and Hills again. And having the confidence to go out and meet those clients that potentially have had a bad experience with the closing and the sudden shock of UpFix.
Okay, so why would you not be confident in doing that? We say like going out, having the confidence to go out and networking, and so why wouldn't you be confident in doing that?
Again, it goes down to your integrity.
Okay.
Integrity, even. It's my Northern Irishness. It's just, it's probably a bit, feeling a bit ashamed of what's happened. Again, even though it's not my fault, I take everything personally. If I worked for you, I'd work for you like I was running my own business and putting that amount of enthusiasm and passion into it. And it's just getting that confidence back in you to say, okay, let's get out and do this, because this was a massive shock. Okay, so tell me about, I guess, like you're saying like get the confidence up to go and start doing it. Have you made the steps in this direction yet, or not quite? So I guess it still hasn't started, right? Because we're talking about... No, it's starting on Monday. But I'm going to be fine.
Okay, so I mean, I guess like what can you see coming up for you? Like, say if you go out and network and then there's confidence, how big an issue do you see this being?
I think it's not going to be an issue anymore, Olivia. I think I've done a lot this week. Just getting my head back in the right place, closing that door. My focus still isn't 100%. Nowhere near where it should be.
Where do you want it to? Where is it, and where do you want it to be?
Where is it? I think 2 weeks ago I would not have wanted to meet anybody that was going to ask me questions as to what happened at UpFix.
Okay.
I can do that now.
Okay.
But I'm very, very easily distracted at the minute.
And is this you're attributing your lack of focus to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've had so much on my mind. I'm feeling that pressure and that closed.
So what things do you tend to be distracted by?
Anything.
Literally anything. Okay, so I guess like how could you maybe make being distracted by things harder so that you could regain some focus?
I just need to get back into this world of work, I suppose. I think, I, in theory, lost my job. Like that. I have never been unemployed in my whole life. I've been working since I was 12 years of age, 11 years of age, as well as everything else. And I've never been off work, to think I've got no job. Even though I had recruitment and all of those things, all in my head I was like, I've got no job. What am I going to do every day? And I had visits, but I sort of just think UpFix has consumed so much of my life.
Right. Okay. So it's a big chunk that's missing now.
Oh God, yeah. And I was like not getting up to like 8 o'clock or 8:30. That doesn't happen in my life. And then I was sort of wondering, thinking, what am I going to do today? Even though I had other, recruitment in my event staff and business, which James is in business with me, and he does a lot of it. But I felt suddenly I felt as if I had nothing in my life. Work-wise, it's honestly, Olivia, I don't know. It was the most bizarre feeling I've ever gone through.
How could we look at that differently, right? Because it's like, on the one hand, you could say, with UpFix going, it's like there's like a big hole that's been created, right? How could you see that hole as an opportunity?
It is now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about focusing those energies on. I think, let me just try and phrase this the way I want to phrase it. I think ping pong head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have balls bouncing around in my head all the time. I've plates spinning, but I was spinning those plates, and UpFix was only giving me the capability and the amount of time to spin those plates, and I wasn't sitting down and looking at my growth of the business because I had too many plates spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
So I think now having that chapter closed and gone will actually give me the opportunity to sit down, spin a couple of plates, and actually work on the business growth and the businesses themselves, rather than a bit here and a bit there and dropping in this and that, or my whole crazy world. I think now it has given me an opportunity.
Okay. So we now have the opportunity. We just need the focus. So what, how can we? What haven't you tried yet in order to kind of regain your focus?
I don't know, Olivia. Do you know when you've lost something that you've never lost before?
Yeah.
As I said, this is still really, really fresh.
Yeah.
The world doesn't know that UpFix is even closed yet, a lot of them. So this is the first, by the way. So it's, I think this week has helped me just as I said, just sitting down on my sofa for hours and doing very little. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get it back fully. And I don't know whether it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Okay. I mean, to what degree would you attribute the kind of lacking in focus with this kind of still dealing with the UpFix thing? It is a trauma. For something so sudden to happen like that. Even though it's just business world and stuff, I never thought it would impact me like this. It's just I just need to get me back again. Whether it's me sitting down and getting my calendar organized again. I was so organized. I had when you say
my to-do list, all of that, I don't even know where. Well, I have got my to-do book today. There's nothing written in it, Olivia.
Okay, we can change that.
Thanks for that. Let me get a pen.
When you say because I'm interested when you say get me back again. Tell me what is in me. If we say if we want to get me back again, what's in that? What are we trying to get back?
I work from morning to night. And I can achieve a lot in a space of an hour or a couple of days. It doesn't take me long to do anything. I'm very efficient in my work life. But yesterday, for example, I was like, what have I actually done today?
Okay, right.
So I don't know what I've just been wandering around doing random things instead of actually having that focus back. Okay,
what would you prefer to have been doing in that time?
I could have had everything I needed to do for Fixie instead of having to think, God, I have to do all of this over the weekend now.
Right, I see. So there were things. It's just that
I've got so many things to do.
Okay, right.
I've got so many things to do for my other businesses,
But it's just getting into that headspace.
Getting that headspace back.
Okay. What do you think is the main pulling factor for you in this new company? And what's drawing you to do it? What's making you want to do this new company?
I did have quite a long think about whether or not I was going to do this again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's probably to show everyone that it can be done. Okay. And it can be done well and successfully.
Okay, so how in these moments when you're you should be doing this stuff but you feel you can't get into the headspace, how could you draw upon these feelings that you've just described? So it can be done, and you want to do it. How can you try try and draw upon those feelings in those moments, you think?
I think I just need to, set myself some targets, some, goals around this is what you're going to achieve today.
Yeah.
To-do list sorted, Olivier, and actually, spend that bit of time organising what I've got to do, because right now it's all out of here.
Yeah, okay.
And I need to get it into some sort of organised space, which will allow me to say, okay, this is what you've got to do today and this is how we're going to do it. Small chunks, but still allow me to have that sort of time to wind down from the trauma as such, what's going on.
Okay, so when would you like to be doing that? You said, obviously, you say you've got stuff on today and stuff, but when would you like to see yourself doing that, do you think?
I have to start tomorrow because the list is getting a bit long in my head.
How are you feeling about that list getting longer?
I don't like that. As I said, I can achieve a lot when I put my mind to it. It's just getting my mind back into that frame of I do have this thing called work. I've got these businesses to run and set up and launch it at the start of next week, which is crazy. But it's just getting my head back into that space that needs to be. And even if it's only in a short term, this is what we're going to do in the next hour, and break it down into sort of like little bite-sized chunks rather than write that whole list down and scare myself and I'll turn the page and move on.
So tell me more about the bite-sized chunks, right? Because I know what you mean. You can't we can't solve the big problem. We need to solve the smaller problems, and then the bigger problem gets solved. So talk to me about some of these bite-sized chunks. Like what would some of the bite-sized stuff be that you could do that would make this whole thing feel a bit lighter?
Yeah, so it's about getting the CRM set up properly for the team on Monday. So we've got new starters on Monday in this new business. It's about getting the business launched out to all of those people. They're little things, which I've left, and this, if you take me back a month ago, that have already been done. Right. Okay. So it's about making sure that the staff are ready to work on Monday, that the uniforms have been collected, which they haven't been, just the little things like that I need to do, so I think when I leave here, Olivia, I'll get a small list together, but that's just one business, we're launching the catering thing with my husband. We've got in place a recruitment, and I'm glad that, I've got James in there who does all the permanent recruitment side of things. I look after the event staffing, and luckily it's a bit quieter at the minute, seasonal wise. So
what would you say is feeling the heaviest for you in terms of this next chapter? Is it, because we've talked about confidence came up, we talked about integrity, we talked about getting together a bite-sized list to kind of start off with the smaller things. What feels like the heaviest thing for you of all of those?
I think it's just getting that focus back, Olivier. I think the confidence is coming, once I've shut that door and realised that this was not me. This was not my fault. This wasn't down to bad management, leadership, anything like that. This was something out of my control. So
it is the focus thing.
The integrity, piece that we talked about, hit me really hard. I'm of course, we're not those people. We're not dishonest, untrustworthy. We've got, as I said, we've got a great reputation. So that, for me, it was just, it was bizarre. I honestly felt like I had no job. I had nothing to do when UpFix shut the doors. And that led me into that. I probably was on the borderline of, going through depression, I would say. For me, it's now, today's a different day. I've already got up and I've already done stuff, and we've met here today, and I was on time and everything. So it's just about building on those every day a little bit more, and sort of start to put that up, trauma, such a trauma, whatever we want to call it, behind me.
I mean, my observation on this is that, and maybe I don't know if you would say this is accurate or not, but I get the sense that you're quite hard on yourself.
I don't really feel And for me, I suppose this was classed as a bit of a failure, even though it wasn't my fault.
Okay. So
and that's probably why I'm going into Fixie, to prove that it does work and it can work and it will work.
Yeah. So maybe to ask a different question, how tough on yourself do you feel like you are?
Oh, just extreme.
Extreme. Why is that?
I always have been.
Okay. Why?
Why do you ask so many questions, Larry?
That's my job.
I don't know. I'm quite a competitive person. Played, a lot of sport at a fairly decent level throughout my life. And I never wanted to fail. I always wanted to win.
Okay, so
we go to BNI,
Yeah.
There's a league table and it tops 100 points. I have 100 points and I always have, pretty much have.
Yeah.
Because I want to be at the top.
What would it take for you to be a little easier on yourself, do you think?
I don't know why I need to be.
You don't need to be.
I don't know why I need to be.
Okay, fair enough. So you like being hard on yourself?
No, I just don't like to fail, Olivia. That's a totally different thing, I think.
Okay. Describe that to me. How do you mean by that?
I believe that whatever you do in your life, you should put everything you've got into it.
Okay.
To be the best of the best you can be.
Okay, right, okay.
I'm only 13th in the BNI world in the UK and Ireland. I don't want to be number one, but I've got my 100 points. Right? So I'm the best I can be.
Okay.
That's an example.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And how do we carry that forward then into is it fixing?
Yeah.
So what is the best that can be, do you think, or best you can be for that?
I think we've set some goals.
Yeah.
There's also some boundaries. I do not want to be covering I don't want to be. It doesn't want to be a national company.
Yeah.
We're going to stay local, fairly local.
Yeah.
Expand slowly and sensibly. Be the best customer service, the best repair rates, and have a really good reputation locally rather than trying to spread ourselves far too thin and make a billion mistakes like some businesses have done. So, with regards to the recruitment side of things, it's about giving the best service we can, getting the best candidates we can.
Okay.
You're never going to win every single battle.
Yeah.
But just being the best you can be.
Okay, so then, because a minute ago you said you kind of see UpFix as a bit of a failure. How do you feel about that label?
I think everything I've said today sums it up.
Yeah.
Your integrity, how you're perceived by other people. And people will always think you've done something wrong or something, it hasn't been managed well, it hasn't been led well, all of these things, when really there was outside factors that played a massive part in this that were out of my control, or out of course's control.
And how could you view it as a personal success?
Well, because I scaled it from nothing to where it was, and this year I was going to turn over the next million plus. Revenue-wise, turnover-wise, we had 30 employees. I just signed a massive contract that was taking this into a whole new level. And I did all of that. So I feel very proud that I've done all of that. But to be let down by other factors, massive.
But it's already that. I like the reframe though, in terms of looking at it as a success rather than failure, because it's actually it's in some ways it's a failure, but it's not your failure, it's your success.
Yeah, but I'm still involved in it. I was the front face that everybody knew.
Okay.
And who do people talk about? They don't talk about the people sitting behind the scenes they don't even know the name of. It's the person at the front, of it all.
So moving forward into this next bit, how are you feeling about the pushing out of the new company and networking and stuff? How are you feeling about that?
I think it's a really bizarre one. It's not about going out and get the business. It's like, I need to get the energy to do this all over again.
Interesting. Okay. Why? Okay.
Olivia, we've talked about a lot of stuff today.
When you say like get the energy back, like
it's just, I had to ask myself, do you have the energy to do this all over again? That UpFix had almost 200 odd partners.
Yeah. What would help you get the energy?
There'd be a lot of things I could think of. Olivia, Barbados would be quite nice right now. It's just getting that mojo back, getting your focus back, getting your head in the right space again.
I guess like
I've got myself a yoga mat, Olivia.
Nice.
Went to purchase that, so I'm going to start doing a little bit of breath work and yoga and stuff, just things for me as well. I think that was neglected for quite a few years.
Okay, what else has been neglected that you want to get back?
I think my life a little bit. As I was working 24/7.
What could you introduce?
I'll never do that again.
Yeah, I can see that. What could you introduce back into your life now that you haven't considered reintroducing, but it would help to get a bit of you back?
I don't know. I love to travel.
Okay.
I need some money now to do this, because obviously things have taken a bit of a turn with UpFix. But just to get myself financially stable again, to start doing some of those things.
Okay, fair enough. So we can introduce traveling, and you've got your yoga mat and stuff. Like.
We have pink.
And did you say you're doing training as well?
Yeah, started training with the lovely Jermaine. Doing the online sessions, which I'm actually quite enjoying. But I've got a damaged knee, so I'm getting that sorted first again. So
do you feel like how would you feel that's coming? How do you feel like you're coming along in terms of getting yourself back to the you again?
Olivia, as I said, this is something that's happened quite recently. I think it's got to be a journey.
Yeah. Okay. How can you be kind? How can you be kinder to yourself about that journey?
Well, I think we talked about schedule, getting things I need to do written down somewhere rather than pinging around my head. And just making some time for me and for Corsa. I think our relationship has been neglected because of everything that's happened in the last year, really.
Right. Okay. Okay. So how could you be kinder about that, do you think?
Yeah, it's just about making time for each other and actually saying, okay, it's what we're going to do, and make some plans and.
Okay, what plans did you make?
Oh my God, Olivier. I can make lots of plans.
Okay, good.
Lots of plans, but we're both very busy with new businesses right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, right. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever answered that many questions in 45 minutes or however long it's been. Thank you. I'll go out of here thinking, how can you? How will you?
I get told that a lot. Okay, so Lorraine Ali from Placer Recruitment and now Fixie. So go check it out. I'll drop the link in the description so you go check those guys out.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks, Olivier.